welcome to the best of everything. I am Ruben Paul, and today I am very excited. Wait. Before I get excited, let me introduce.
Oh yeah, no, okay. No.
Let me introduce. Let me introduce.
You were gonna skip over anyway. Let's just skip over.
Let me introduce my partner in crime.
That you were gonna skip over. That you were gonna skip over.
Which might have not been a bad thing to skip over, but the one and only Mr. Johnny Sanchez. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, man. Yeah. What?
You good?
See, I like this moving around, man. I like this. I like this.
And now the person that I'm excited about. I've known this guy for a long time. One of the funniest guys working today. If you've seen Gabriel Iglesias live in the last few years, you've seen this very funny guy opening up for him.
Yeah.
For a long time, met him at, I believe, either the Ha Cafe years ago, or he could probably tell you where we met specifically. But ladies and gentlemen,
you never remember. You never remember.
For the one and only.
Mm-hmm.
This guy,
oh shit!
This guy, the one and only,
dude,
Mr. Alfred Robles. What's up, brother?
What up, guys? Thank you guys for having me here. Hey, Ruben, I'll tell you where I met you for the first time, dude.
Where?
It was at a Christmas party with Gabriel, and you showed up with Chewy from up north.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's when Gabriel used to throw his yearly Christmas parties.
Yeah.
Well, at least when I used to get the invites.
He stopped doing them.
No, I know. It's all love. Wow, I do remember that. It was at some country western bar or something, right?
What's that?
Wasn't that like
yeah.
At some country western bar? Yeah, I remember that, dude. I remember that. How are you, brother?
I've been good, bro, and I'm doing good, man. I'm just been home for the past month, fighting with my cat, dude.
I was gonna ask that. What's your shirt say?
Oh, it's a picture of my cat, and it says Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
nice.
You know Johnny would like that. For you guys who don't know, Johnny loves puns. So
love puns, man. Love puns. So Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes,
sir. And it's a picture of my cat. That's my cat right there. My cat's she's a 10-year-old Maine Coon. She weighs 20 pounds, bro.
Is that
easy on the word. Easy on the word there. We got Ruben online. We got Ruben here.
Is
that's the cat breed, bro.
Hey man,
you gotta be careful with Ruben. Man.
No, I wasn't even gonna say anything, Johnny. I let it slide.
But you were thinking it.
You're probably right. I was thinking it. But Alfred, is that really your cat that's on your shirt? For you guys who are listening, Alfred Robles has a shirt on. It's a play on Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's a picture of a cat on the shirt. Is that really your cat?
That's my cat, bro. Hold up, let me bring her out.
Yeah.
He's gonna bring the cat out. It's crazy, man. You know, one thing about social media, you find out like, you know, some people are cat people, some people are dog people, and Alfred is a cat person.
Yeah, I'll probably pass on that on the cats.
You know, I don't
unless it's a big cat. Then I'm in.
That's a big cat. That big cat looked like it could be in a hairband.
A hairball band.
What's your cat's name, Alfred?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Kate.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead,
wait a minute. There's no way if it's 10 years old, that was the cat's original name.
No. I rescued the cat, and when I rescued the cat, I thought the cat was a he, bro, and her first name was Two Socks.
Okay.
So when I took her to the vet, I put down that it was a he, and when I got a call to pick her up, they told me it was a she, bro, and I'm over there arguing with the vet. I'm all like, dude, you got the wrong cat. My cat's a he. They're all like, no. Your cat's a girl. It's a she. I'm like, wait a minute, what? They're like, yeah, what kind of cat daddy are you? And I go, bro, I rescue my cat, dude.
Oh,
And then, so after that, when I found out, I renamed her. And that's when the Caitlyn Jenner thing was hot. And I go, dude, it's perfect for her.
So
perfect.
So did you name her Caitlyn Jenner?
That's
I
what
wanted to. I wanted to, but I was like, nah, you know what? Caitlyn Jenner's way better. But Caitlyn would make cool too, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to lean towards Catlin on this one, but that's just because we've got to remember I'm a pun guy.
Right. Hey,
So,
I don't want to be too cheesy, bro.
Hey, so Alfred, man, let's get into it. I mean, obviously, we've all known each other for a long time, but there's certain things that I don't know about you. That was one reason I was really excited to have you on the show, because sometimes as comedians, unless you tour together, you don't really get a chance to really know people. Now, you're from LA originally, right?
Yeah, I was born in East LA. I grew up in East LA in the Montebello area.
Yes.
And I went to 4 high schools, bro.
Which
4 high
ones?
schools? Which ones?
I went to Montebello High School. I went to Garfield High School. I went to a high school in Mexico. And I went to a court school in East LA.
Did you graduate?
Yeah.
From where?
I graduated from a court school. If you don't know what a court school is where they send everybody that get out of jail from juvenile hall. They send them to that school.
Oh, wow. So you can't skip over that. So you're in juvenile hall?
No, I didn't have enough credits to graduate, and all of my friends were cholos, and they were going to that court school. So what they did was all like, hey, bro, you won't have to go to summer school. Just come over here. Like, bro, but I never fucking got busted before. It was like, just come talk to the teacher. And I talked to the teacher, and they let me in, bro. They let me in, and it was the best thing ever, bro. They used to pay us to go to school, dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because the state used to pay us. So I was getting paid minimum wage to go to school, and I went to school like for half a semester there, and I got paid every day, bro.
Wow. I had never heard of that. Now, Johnny, do you know when you and Alfred met? Do you remember that?
It would probably have to have been. I feel like I met him somewhere at the ice. I feel like it probably would have been at the Ice House.
On Rudy Moreno's show?
Right. Does that sound about right, Alfred?
Maybe, but what I remember is like me and Rodrigo were stalking you when you did the Latino Laugh Festival.
Oh, the one here in LA? The LA one.
Yeah.
So, Alfred, how long have you been doing stand-up now?
I started in 2002, bro.
Wow, man, isn't that crazy?
Oh my God, it goes by that fast. Are you kidding me?
When I remember Alfred, I'm probably putting you on the spot, Alfred, but
he was heavier when I met him. He was heavy.
Oh yeah, Alfred he's taking care of himself and everything. But Alfred, to put you on the spot, like I remember when me and you first started talking, you used to have this joke about your dad taking you to a Dodger game, and I used to stay on you like, yo, dude, you got to work that joke. That's a great joke. What was the bit again? Do you remember the joke?
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Yeah. What was the bit?
So it was a true story, dude. My brother tells me that we're going to the Dodger game, and I told him, "How do you know?" And he goes, "I was looking through my dad's drawer, and I found 4 tickets. So he's gonna take us." So it was on a Friday, and I was ready, bro. I had my glove. I was fucking ready, and my dad never showed up, dog. And he took his other family, bro.
Wasn't it a joke to say you turned on the TV and saw him?
I saw him. The kid had my glove. That my dad had a number 1 dad T-shirt. I added all those tags to it, dude.
Yeah. I used to love that.
That was great, man.
Hey, everybody. Leslie says, "What's up, Leslie?"
Yeah, Leslie's great. Leslie's.
And here's what
Leslie said, "Hi, Alfred," along with Fluffy.
Yeah, she says, "You are my favorite male comedians." Thank you, Leslie. That's very nice of you. So go ahead.
Hey, Ruben, you know what's funny about that joke is when that was like one of the first jokes I ever wrote, bro, because it was a true story. And I remember in the beginning, no one would laugh, bro. And it was one of those jokes where comedians will come up to me and like yourself, hey, keep doing it, dude. That's gonna be funny. But in my head, I'm all like, man, I'm only making these motherfuckers laugh, not the audience, dude. So for a while I stopped doing it, and then I just recently brought it back again for the same reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe it was my delivery back then, and I didn't know how to do it.
Well, you get better, and a lot of times with bits like that, and Ruben knows that disabled bit that I do, the grocery disabled bit, literally took me a year to get that to work. But with that bit there, you probably used to get like moans and groans, right?
Yeah,
or like people going, oh, you know, because they feel bad for you. But it's you probably just got better, you know, as when you were starting out back then. And as you got better, you perfected it. But those are always difficult, man. Those bits that get people to react in a way where they feel bad for you.
But
when,
you know what's great about both bits, whether it be Johnny's bit, whether it be Alfred's bit, what that shows you too when you're getting moans, a lot of times those are jokes that the audience aren't used to hearing. You know what I mean? So they react in a different way. And as you go along, Alfred, what Johnny was saying, piggybacking what Johnny was saying, is you do become better. Like I've talked about it extensively on different episodes about when I first started doing comedy. I tried to do the Haitian jokes, but I wasn't good enough to do them yet. You know, and as the years went on, and as Haiti became more prevalent in just say, you know, the world's consciousness, then I was able to bring the Haitian stuff and be able, now I can do it anywhere in the world. And so it doesn't matter. But when I first tried to do it, man, I just wasn't good enough to do it. Hey, Aretha, we got a shout out. But yeah, I love that. So Albert, at what point did you realize you wanted to do stand-up?
I used to write in high school and in junior high. I used to write little jokes and fucking poems, bro. I used to write poems and fucking jokes, dog. And back then, I think it was hard to become a comic because I didn't know how to do it. And I went into the police academy, and I got kicked. I got disqualified from the police academy. And that's when I said, "Why?" So that's when my ex-girlfriend put a restraining order on me, and I got DQ'd because of that. In the state of California, when you get a restraining order, it's kind of like a domestic. So I couldn't carry my weapon, so I got disqualified because of that.
And then after that, at what point, like, what led you into comedy? Like, what was that road like? How did you get to start doing stand-up for the first time?
What was that launching pad into the open mic or whatever the first time?
So after when I got disqualified, I kept thinking about like maybe being a cop wasn't a thing for me, and I was all like, dude, I always like writing jokes and I love telling jokes. So my first show I went to the Ice House, and I saw a Rudy Moreno show. Yeah. And my second show was a Willie Barcena show. And after that,
hey, bro.
And after that,
you do all your own stuff, bro. Hard, bro.
And after that, I said, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do it, and I started going from there, bro.
Okay, real quick, Rob DeRocha said, "Tell us a poem."
Man, I'll think about it, bro. It's been a while.
No, okay, so but that first time on stage, where do you remember where it was?
Horrible, bro. Yeah. It was. You guys remember Casa Latina in Rosemead?
Of course.
Yeah.
That was Jeff Garcia's place.
Yeah. That was my first time going up. Was there?
Rowdy as shit. Yes, I remember. That was your first
man.
time?
And yeah, bro. I remember back then I was.
Yeah, bro.
Hey. I remember my first time up on stage. I had one of those button shirts, and it had like flames on the bottom of the shirt.
Yeah, I remember.
And I was bombing, bro. I don't know nothing about bombing. I don't know nothing about hecklers or comebacks or whatnot. And I was bombing. I was supposed to do 5. I did like 3. I was bombing, bro. Nobody was laughing. And I remember hecklers standing up and yelling at me, "You're on fire, bro!"
Yo, but I don't, Johnny.
Because of the shirt, bro. He said I was on fire because of the shirt. Yeah. I didn't have a comeback, bro. I told that cholo, "Oh, thank you, bro."
Yo, Rob DeRocha said Casa Latina was a scary place. Johnny probably refused to do that place, but
I did it once or twice or something like that. I did almost all those rooms, man. What was the other one that Willie had? Tortillas?
Willie had like 10 rooms, man. But that Latina was Jeff Garcia's playground, man. Like he would.
Hey, what's up, Dad?
It was big. It was wide.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and all the cholos used to be up in there, man. And when you went in there, you had to hit them hard and fast and get the hell out of there.
It was crazy.
So who, like, when you first started doing comedy, like, who was the immediate clique that you're in?
The first person I ever met was Benny Mena, bro.
Oh wow! Shout out Benny Mena, man.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the first person I met, and then I met Rodrigo Torres.
Yeah.
And then I met Martin, Felipe, Gabriel, and Willie, and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Did you meet any white comics?
Darren Carter.
Of course.
Of course,
Darren was hanging out doing all the Latino rooms, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Darren Carter.
And Alfred, so when you first started, you were just doing like the Latino circuit, just like the little one-nighters, like tortillas,
Rudy's
room, yeah. Those are the rooms.
Yeah, that's what I was doing, bro. Those are the rooms I was fucking. That's the only rooms that I knew of. I didn't know nothing about the improvs, bro. I thought it was just like fucking bar shows. That's all I knew, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the same with me when I started because I was just doing black rooms, almost like I've always said before, like the first 5 or 6 years, and it wasn't until people were like, "Yo, why aren't you at the Improv or the Laugh Factory or the store?"
Yeah,
I didn't even really think that was an option. And you used to. At what point did you start going to the Ha? Because you used to be there all the time, bro.
I met Rodrigo, and Rodrigo was telling me that they had open mic, so we had to pay $5 for the open mic, and that's when I started meeting other comics.
Oh, okay.
That's when all that sort of not pay to play, but I guess it would be pay to joke. I don't know what the term would be, but that was around that time when all that started. I remember hearing comics tell me, "Yeah, I go to my open mic. It's only $5. It's only $10." I was like, "Wait, what? They're paying you, or you're paying?" No, we gotta pay. I was like, unbelievable, right?
Yeah, and then I think they give you a tape and 2 drink tickets or something like that.
Right.
And Alfred, hey, Jim Tavares. Hey, Jim Tavares, how are you? He says hello. Man, I hope you're doing well, Jim Tavares. Miss you, bud. Hope you're healthy. Remember, there used to be a room called, it was at Universal City Walk. And
the Rumba Room.
The Rumba Room, but I think it was either Ernie G.
That was Ernie.
Yes.
Ernie G.
Come to my room, bro. My room, bro.
I remember I used to see you there at the Rumba Room, Alfred, doing shows there. Yeah.
It was Ernie G would let me and Rodrigo do the 5 minutes and bring him up type of shit, dude. Mm-hmm. We did that for a long time, bro.
Yeah. See, Ernie didn't want to go up cold, so he would have the younger guys go up and then give him this big. And you guys ready? You guys ready for the guy that's running this room? He's been on the Latino. He's been on the Latino. You've seen him on Latino. Give it up for Ernie G. And then Ernie come out. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, that used to be. Monday nights at the Rumba Room, and ironically, Rob DeRocha used to have. He started doing a room across from the Rumba Room in that bar that was right up there. Yeah, Rob, if you're still here, chime in on that. He used to do this bar show. That was one of the first times. I don't know if it was the first time I ever met Rob. Obviously, we had known each other, but he used to book this show, man, at this bar from the Rumba Room.
So, he was, and Rob was saying the Rooster used to do every room.
Yes,
Darren was everywhere, man. Darren was everywhere. And then when you were doing all these other little rooms, so you and Gabriel started close around the same time, right? Didn't he start like 98 or 2000?
No, I think he started in 97.
Yeah, Gabriel.
Oh, so it was a little earlier than. Oh, okay, wow. Okay, it goes by fast, man. It goes by. I was thinking he was right. Well, I said 98. I was thinking 98 to 2000. So yeah. So then you guys met years later. You had already been doing stand-up a while when you met Gabe.
I probably met Gabriel maybe a year into the game, and he told me he gave me the best advice. He goes, "Hey, bro, you're a funny guy." He goes, "But you cuss a lot." He goes, "You use a lot of local reference." He goes, "Dude, if you stop doing that, you're gonna be way funnier."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked. It worked out for me good, you know.
Yeah. And at what point? Obviously, we're fast forwarding. How did it transpire that you and Gabriel ended up hooking up, and then you going on tour with him? Because you've been touring with him for how long now?
Man, since 2008.
Wow, 12 years, man. Good for you.
Wow.
Nice to have a steady gig, bro.
Yeah, but you know what it is, bro? It was kind of like working at Home Depot, fool.
Why you say that?
Because when I started with Gabriel, I wasn't even doing comedy, bro. He goes, "Hey, I'm gonna take you on the road, but help me out."
Yeah.
All right, cool. I started like taking pictures for him, selling
merchandise,
like just doing that, just doing that, and then sometimes he'll give me guest spots and shit like that.
Yeah,
and that's how I started, and I stuck it out, and now I'm hosting, bro, and it started going good after that, bro.
That's awesome. Well, it's interesting because, and Alfred will tell you, I used to always like when I would see him, because I always thought it was, it's a blessing to be able to tour and make a living doing stand-up comedy, whether you're touring on your own or whether you're touring with a big name act. But I don't know if you remember this, Alfred, but I used to go, "Yo, dude, when you're not on the road with Gabriel, you need to do spots around town, man. You need to do other stuff." And I remember just seeing you at the Comedy and Magic Club, on your own and killing and doing well. And I was like, you get it. You know what I mean? Not everybody gets it. Sometimes you can get really comfortable being an opener, and that's all you do. And I know you put on a lot of your own solo shows, like at the Ice House and different places like that, which I think is smart.
Yeah, I do, and that's what I didn't want to fall into. That I didn't want to get lazy or get comfortable, like you said, bro. Because I mean, it's cool that Gabe was taking me on the road, but I know this has to end sometimes. You know what I mean? And I became a comedian for myself, not just to be an opener or whatnot. So I always thought like that too,
Absolutely. And then I think sometimes when you just do one thing, you don't have the confidence to do other things. And I think it was important for you to, like, you're doing predominantly Latino audiences, and then you'll go to a Comedy and Magic Club that's all white, and then you still kill. And I think that kind of opens up your world and go, "Oh man, these jokes aren't just for Latinos."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was so in the 8 years of traveling and touring, like, what is the one thing that you love the most about it, touring with somebody like a Gabriel?
You know what I really love, bro, is doing more than 10 minutes. That's kind of sounds selfish, but when I did more than 10 minutes, bro, I'm like, dude, I feel like when you do more than 10 minutes, when you do like 15 or 20, you could do a 45-minute set in front of them. You know what I mean? Because if you do 5 minutes, you could fool somebody for 5 minutes.
Sure.
You can't fool nobody for 15 or 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm? So that's what I said. Oh, dude, I could fucking make a lot of people fucking laugh, man. Not just like you said, not just Latinos. You know what I mean? And that's where I felt like I grew as a comic. When Gabriel gave me more time and I was just fucking killing it, I go, oh shit, okay, now I leveled up. Now I got to do something else to go to another level.
Yeah. Anything, Johnny?
Yeah, because even people who are famous, dude. The old saying in stand-up, is fame will get you 5, but that's it, 5. Yeah. So you see some of these people who, they were actors or they were doing other things, and then they ventured into comedy, and people will laugh with them and at them or whatever for 5 minutes. And then after that, dude, when you're doing a 20-minute set, that's like the real deal. Like that's when you start seeing who can, there's some, like we've talked about this before. There's some comics who just know how to master that 10-minute set, and they go around town and they kill everywhere. 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and then they get a 20-minute or a 25-minute set, and all of a sudden they're exposed. You know what I mean? Like you look at me and go, oh, geez, this has been rough the last 8 minutes after the 10.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's a big thing and I also feel like when you do, people get to know you obviously so much better when you when you do 15, 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like they know who you are, your story a lot more. So that absolutely helps, man. Oh, by the way, it's Howl at the Moon. It's Howl at the Moon that Rob DeRocha had the room.
Yeah, I posted it up there and said it. So Alfred, I'm sorry, my apologies. So Alfred, as you started touring, what was the adjustment? Because people ask me this all the time. What was the adjustment from going to doing clubs and bar shows to playing theaters and arenas?
Slowing down.
Yes.
I feel like you have to slow it down a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and use the stage. I think since you're in a bigger venue, walk around a little bit. Don't stand in one place. I mean, that's cool at a club, but when you do theaters or arenas, you have a big ass fucking stage, and I think using it helps you out a lot too. And back then, I wouldn't use it. I'll just stay in one place and just tell my jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I didn't take advantage of a lot of things back then that I do now.
Well, I would say, I was fortunate because early on in my career, I was working theaters, and I thought I had an advantage when I look back, coming back to the clubs, because in a theater and a bigger venue, it forces you to perform more, at least with my style.
Right.
And like you said, because you want to, in a bigger venue, you want to reach everybody, even the use of your voice. You want the person in the last row at the top, of the building to be able to hear you and feel what you're saying. So with somebody like your style, who a lot of times is a setup punchline style mixed with a little bit of storytelling. I saw you perform. You killed it at the Staples Center with Gabe. Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you, bro.
But it was cool to see your style, because I had never seen you in a venue that big before until I went and saw you at the Staples Center. So it was great for me as your friend to see the growth and see how you tackled a larger audience, man. It was cool to see.
Oh, thank you, bro. And then also too, I feel like you're supposed to have different sets, like when you do a bar show or a club show or a theater or an arena. You know what I mean? I feel like when you do an arena and you're only doing 10 minutes, I feel like you have to just fucking hit them right away, bro.
You got to bring them.
You know what I mean?
You got to bring the guns, yeah.
Now, because of that experience, do you think it's made you a better performer, even in clubs when you're in smaller venues? Do you feel differently now?
Yes, and you know what it is, not like maybe 4 years ago, I started telling more stories. And I remember at first I was scared, bro, because I'm used to the setup punch, laugh. I wasn't used to hearing a lot of silence. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then Gabriel goes, "That's good, dude. That's good." He goes, "It's only gonna make you better." He says, "Don't feel discouraged," because he'll tell me, he goes, "I see that you're doing this, then you're going back to your older jokes." He goes, "Don't get discouraged, bro. It's working out right now. Well, you're not used to listening to silence. You want your laugh right away, and sometimes it's not about that. It's the end. The reward is what counts."
And I think that's a growth of a comedian, because when you first start doing comedy, you're chasing the laugh. That's all you want. By any means necessary for some comics. They'll just chase the laugh. And then as you grow and start to understand really what the art form is about, how you can take the audience on a journey, silence is a powerful, powerful tool.
That was my next thing I was going to say. Yeah.
It's very powerful. And, you see somebody like a Chappelle who utilizes silence, as a tool in his repertoire. And I think a lot of great comics don't run from the silence, especially when you have something to say, and also that there's a payoff at the end of the silence. Go ahead, Johnny.
Right.
No, I was just gonna just kind of reiterate what I was gonna say that earlier. The good thing is when you were telling stories, even if it was quiet at those moments, that means they're paying attention and they're paying attention to the story. Now, granted, maybe there's some little punch ups you might need but what Gabe was basically saying was they're paying attention, man. That's what you don't want is someone, which I've gone through and early bits when it's a long, when I'm trying out a long story sometimes I might not keep their attention, man. I might hear somebody over there talking at their table. That means, I lost them. I'm losing some pockets here and there. And
Right.
at least they were listening and paying attention. That's like Ruben said, man. I mean, Chappelle's always said that's his favorite moments when he's up on stage,
Yeah, when you're doing a show, man, and especially if it's packed, and there's a moment on stage where it's complete silence in the room, you don't hear anything, and then that punchline in that silence, man, is one of the best feelings for me, that I have on stage, because it goes from everyone attentively listening to every word, and then the big explosion at the punchline. And that's one thing where you just wish for some comics, you go, man, if I wish they can know what that feels like, to go through that silence that they're afraid of, to get that payoff that, ultimately they're looking for. I want to switch gears a little bit, because you've been doing these videos, man, with your mom. And, man, I got to tell you, I love these videos, man. It shows another side of you. I want to meet your mom by seeing those videos, man. She just seems like a great woman, and she's funny in the videos too, man. Tell me how those videos with your mom came about.
Dude, my mom's a funny lady, bro, and she has like a straight face, bro, and you can't really tell her emotions. She's just funny like that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm all like, if I could get my mom to do something, I think people would like her. And sure enough, bro, my mom, she loves doing them, but sometimes she'll be like, no, you just want me for your little dummy, right? I'm not your dummy. I'm not your dummy. Like,
that sounds like something a mom would say. So
yeah.
what was the first video that you did with her, and what was her response when you asked her to do it? Was there a back and forth, like, no, I don't want to do it, and you had to convince her to do it?
She didn't know I was recording her, bro. I told her when I was recording her, and then I was like faking it out, like I was messing with my hair. And then so she thinks I was looking at my hair, so she didn't know I was recording her. And I put it on IG, and one of my cousins from Mexico saw it, and they fucking told her. And my mom came back, and she fucking started talking shit to me because I recorded her.
Hilarious.
But one of the videos got like 10,000 views, and I showed her, and then she said, "So that those 10,000 people see me?" I'm all like, "Yeah." That's when she got all cocky, dog.
Let me tell you something. I don't think Johnny could get away with that with his dad, man. Johnny, what would happen if you tried to record your dad without his knowledge and you posted it?
Well, here's the thing. I could probably do it, and he would not know unless my family ratted me out.
But if they ratted you out, what would happen?
My dad would say the same thing. He'd be upset first, but as soon as he found out if he got thousands of views, he'd be all right with it.
Yes.
I think that's the key. That's the thing. Because they come from a different generation. They don't understand that, man. It's to know that thousands of people would watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with my dad, he would have. Yeah, he would have.
Hey, what happened?
I think my dad. I think if I pulled out the camera and tried to record my dad, his first reaction would be no, and then if I told him, "Well, Dad, thousands of people would see this," he'd go, "Oh, okay," and then he would change clothes and get dressed up in the cage like that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was a ham. He would be.
But wait a minute. But what if you did it like he did, and you were going like this, right? Pretending that you were, and he didn't know you were videotaping him, and then you posted it, and then you had to tell him somebody found out, like your sister found out, and goes, "Ruben posted you, Dad," and then what?
After he hit me, I would explain to him.
Now, wait a minute. Is this hitting you with his hand or his machete?
With his hand. Yo, my father's hit first, talk later. So Dad'll be like, Dad, no. Everybody can see you. 1,000 people see you. They think it's funny. They'll be like, you should tell me. You know, put me on video and put me on. He'd go in, but then he'd be into it once he know people were looking at it and enjoying it.
So,
and then he would say that everybody was watching it because of him and not me.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because but there's some truth to that, because I'm sure people are watching the video because they want to see what Alfred's mom's going to do next, or you know what I mean?
Well, Alfred, let me ask you this. So when you decided, obviously your mom was with you from you going from high school to high school to high school and then trying to be in the academy and then getting kicked out of the academy. How did she support you when you decided, like, hey, I want to do stand-up comedy?
At first, she didn't support me, bro, because when I went to the police academy, I went to Rio Hondo. So the Rio Hondo, it was an extended academy, and we'll go 3 days out of the week only. So I still had a day job.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got when I got disqualified, she was asking me, "What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna wait and go back?" I'm like, "Yeah," but she didn't know I wanted to be a comic. But I fucked up. I quit my day job 2 years into comedy, bro.
Wow.
And, yeah, bro. I for some reason I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to quit just to get better. It's one of those you hear people talking, oh, you don't get funny until you quit your day job, and I fucking believe that shit. And I was living with my mom, and she fucking hated it, because I was just there. I didn't have no income or nothing like that. And I was getting paid pretty good when I was working at Old Navy. That I used to do loss prevention for Old Navy. I was getting paid $17 an hour back then in 2002. And then I went from fucking nothing right away, dog.
Thank you for your service, by the way.
You're welcome, bro.
Old Navy.
So,
but Rube, I told you that I did this. I almost did the same thing. Not quite 2 years, but when I reached my 4th year, I was like, hey, 4 years. That's what people do. They go to college for 4 years and they start working in their profession. So I quit my job after 4 years of comedy, and I just gotten picked up as a regular at the store. I mean, I really shouldn't have, but I had very low overhead. You know what I mean? Like my bills were very, very minimal, man. I made sure everything was very low, man. I drove an old piece of crap little Isuzu pickup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I had no car payments. Insurance was cheap. So I know what you're talking about. I did that early on too. It's a risk. It's a big risk. You know what I mean?
I think for me, like when people kind of ask me advice, like, hey, when do you think should I quit my job? One, I think it goes to the individual, how you can balance your time, you know, because like Alfred said, it is hard to get good sometimes if your day job is taking up most of your time and your focus and your energy. And I always tell people, like, at some point, you're going to be forced to make a decision between comedy and whatever your day job is at the time. At the time, I was working at Delta Airlines. I was working on the ramp, you know, fresh out of college, and I was excited to do comedy. But then my shift was from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I would hang out. Yeah, I had a 5 a.m. start time. I had to be at work at 5 a.m. So I
did at 3. Oh no, wait a minute, it's you. Hold on, you're waking up at 4:48.
No, 4:15, 4:30 maybe. I'd push it.
See, that's what this guy's
man. Great. So I was doing stand-up, but I was exhausted, man, because, you know, when you're excited, you do your set, you're hanging out with all the comics in, you guys go to get something to eat, then it's 3 o'clock in the morning, man. So sometimes I would literally go home, shower, put on my work uniform, and then go to work. And then I would come home at 1, I'd get home at probably 1:30, 1:45, and then I would sleep into my set that night. Yeah. And then it starts to wear you down. Then you start being late for work. Then you start calling in sick. Yeah. Like all these things start happening because your heart is somewhere else. And then, you know, you're forced to make that decision. But I always tell comics, quit your job when you're serious, number one. And number two, when you really think you can go after it and make a living doing stand-up comedy. And I got to say, I've been able to support myself for the most part. You know, you have your bad years. But doing comedy, I haven't had a job since. And what was your last job, Alfred?
That just working at Old Navy. But you know what? After that, I did like I went through the agency and just worked like odd jobs for a while as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with my last job at the agency, I was like fucking loading Christmas trees on a fucking trailer or some shit like that, dude.
When did your mom become acceptive? Like, all right, let's back up. When did you tell your mom you were doing stand up? She didn't support you at first. So when did you tell her you're doing stand up? And then how long did she accept you when she was like, okay, I'm on board?
Okay, I told her right when I started. So that was in 2002, and she wasn't on board till 2008, 2009.
What did she say to you when you told her you were doing comedy?
She said she thought I was dumb, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, she was. Why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? You're not gonna make any money. Why do I think I'm funny? Who told me I was funny? Like, what the fuck kind of questions are those?
So Johnny,
who told you were funny? Who told you were funny?
Johnny, tell Alfred what your dad told you when you told him you were going to move to LA.
Yeah, so I was living in the South. You know where Tulare is? Tulare, Visalia.
Yeah.
So I was I'm from Tulare actually, but anyway, so I told my dad just like about 4 days before I was going to move. And he told me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go do comedy. He's like, what are you going to do in LA? And I said, because I quit my job. I had a good job, dude, at the Louis Rich turkey plant. All right. I was working the assembly line, man, benefits, the whole thing. And then I go, yeah, I'm going to try stand up. And my dad laughed. And then he said, he goes, you'll be back in 3 months, is what he told me. And even though we've talked about this before, I tell Ruben that he feels bad about that. But that was the best thing he said to me, man, because every time I almost quit and went back home, I would hear my dad, even if it was way past 3 months, we're talking 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I would always hear my dad's voice going, all that mattered is that he said, you'll be back. It didn't matter that it was 3 months and I was past 3 months, but that was the best thing he said to me, man, because anytime I had my doubts and I was like, you know, those times, dude, those first few years are rough, man. Yeah. Those open mic days when things aren't happening. And I tell him, I thank him now. I'm like, man, I'm glad you told me that because it kept me from quitting and moving back home, you know?
So Alfred, so your mom told you you were dumb, you're not going to make any money, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. At what point did she accept you for doing stand-up? Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, was there a moment?
I was sleeping on my mom's couch, and in 2008, I bought a rollaway, bro. I bought a rollaway because I didn't want to sleep on the couch anymore, and that's why my mom said, okay, you're making a little bit of money. So that's when she kind of like accepted it a little bit more.
Wow. Now,
so from 2002 to 2008, I was on the couch or on the floor. And I was like, dude, I have to do something, bro. So I bought a rollaway, and my mom saw that, and she goes, okay, maybe now you're making a little bit more money. You're doing something for yourself. You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy? And Johnny knows this, and this is to all the listeners out there. Alfred, like myself and like Johnny, especially when you're first starting out, you're out almost every night, hitting so many spots. So a lot of spots, man. You're driving, especially in LA, since everything is spread out. It's not like New York where everything is pretty much within five minutes or 10 minutes of each other. But just just going from club to club or bar to bar or wherever you're going, not really making that much money, and then coming home to an environment where people don't think you're going to make it. You know what I mean? Or you're going to ever be able to support yourself doing it. So that must have been tough, you know, coming home gig after gig after gig, not really making money and coming back to that damn couch. Like, was your mom saying smart shit?
And my mom didn't get it, dude. When you're young, bro, you have to hang out. You know, you have to hang out. You have to show your face. My mom doesn't get all that shit, dog. I would be out. Let's just say Monday I'll go to the Laugh Factory and then we'll go to the Rumble Room. On Tuesday we'll go to we'll do Casa Latina and then hit up Rudy's room at the Ice House. Wednesday was Tortillas. Thursday was the Hop. Remember the Hop in Lakewood?
Of course.
Yes.
Thursday was a hop and
All right, Ruben.
Thursday was the hop, and then Friday we'll go to the haha, and Saturday like Sebastian would have a room, and Sunday Sebastian would have a room, and I did that for fucking 6 years, just hanging out at those every day. We had a spot to go to.
Yeah. I used to see you all the time. I hated the hop, man. I could not. Room, man. I deal with Willie Barcena have it. For you guys listening, there's so many pop-up rooms, like pretty much in any city, but in LA, especially in the Latino community, it just seems like rooms would go from comic to comic. Like Will would have it for 2 months, and then all of a sudden somebody like Jeff Garcia would have it for a few months, and then, you know, Rudy Moreno would have a room for a few months. So rooms would change, like who was booking it at the time. I remember Tortillas. I mean, damn near everybody booked that room. Larry Omaha used to book it. Used to book it. Jeff Garcia used to book it. I think Gabe even used to book it at one time. Like it just kept going from comic to comic to comic, man. So doing these bar shows, at what point did you really start making decent money doing stand-up? Was that when you started touring with Gabe, or were you having fortune before?
No, when I started working with Gabriel, that's when I started making a little bit more money than what I was making before. Like Felipe would give us like $50, Willie would give us like $20, $30. The haha would give us like whatever they give us. It's like Sebastian once in a while, you know.
Yeah.
I started working with Gabriel.
Yeah.
Remember Callie's? Remember Callie's and Corona or something?
Yeah.
Wednesday nights?
No, I didn't do that one. That one I didn't do. No.
See, Johnny got to a point where he was bougie, and he was like, he's not doing those damn rooms.
Wait a minute. Here's what it is. I did a lot of open mics in the Valley, and I did. The Latino scene started coming around, but the Latino scene started coming around bigger after I had already become a regular at the Comedy Store. Mm-hmm. So I got picked up early at the store. So my 4th year, I was already a regular. So I had the store. So, which, you know, we would do a lot of spots during the week there too. So Mitzi was working us, man, myself and Freddie Soto and Luke Torres. So we would pop into those other rooms, but it wasn't a necessity for us. I had already done like all the bar open mics in the San Fernando Valley.
Alfred, I used to do these rooms, and Johnny goes, "Why are you doing those rooms?"
Hey, you know what's funny, bro?
Go,
Ruben. You were in a movie, right? In like 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
So I remember seeing you in the movie, and then I saw you doing all the rooms, and then I used to see Gabriel, I used to see Paul Rodriguez, and a lot of dudes that are top notch. And then I saw Johnny, and in my head, how bad is this motherfucker that he doesn't have to do these rooms and he does whatever he wants only? So I used to think Johnny was the funniest motherfucker ever, because I wouldn't see him, and he wouldn't do these shits that I'll see other people when they do. I'm like, how?
Johnny,
you know, like, what the fuck? How fucking funny is this dude, bro?
Johnny be like, Rube, you don't need to do those rooms. Why are you doing those rooms? I'm like, Johnny, I need money, because my thing was, those Latino rooms is really the only rooms that can get you cash immediately.
Yeah.
Sebastian Satina would call me to do some shitty gig way out, but I knew I'd get at least $100, $150, or I can go here and get a quick 75 or whatever. So for me, even though I did hate doing some of those rooms, sometimes, you know what I mean? Because sometimes they're just shitty. But at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I can put gas in my car, I can go get something to eat, and then, you know, put a little bit towards my rent or whatever.
Yeah, and speaking of bougie, it's also, you needed that extra money to go get your, you know, filet mignon and your Alaskan sea bass and all that stuff for lunch. Okay.
I like what I like, bro.
Anyway.
So
all right.
So Alfred, so I know you said, you know, Gabe was like, hey, you can come on the road and help me, but like, what did that feel like? Because Gabe was established. Gabe was, you know, a star in the comedy game when you started touring with him. Like, what did that feel like? Did you ask him, or did it come out of the blue? Was it a surprise? Like, hey, dude, why don't you come on the road with me? How did that transpire specifically?
No, he hit me up and he goes, I'm going to take you on the road. But he made it clear. He goes, you're not going to get a lot of time. I want you to do this. And then if you get funny and you get better, you're going to have a spot. And I go, all right, cool. So that's how that's how it started, dude. There was sometimes where like I'll be selling merch and then someone will call me, hey, you're gonna go up tonight. So I had to run from the merch booth to the back to the stage and go back and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Well, that was
and
dope.
a lot of people don't get it. You have to do shit like that, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think it's dope that he called you to do that. Like you have those moments. You know, we don't get a lot of calls from that. Me and Johnny be like, man, why don't they call us? Like my relationship opening up for different people came about because of different reasons, like doing double duty. You know, when I was touring with Jamie Foxx, that was a little bit different. That kind of was an opportunity to just open up, and you're just like, oh shit, if I do well, this could lead to something. And I remember going up to Oakland, and Jamie Foxx and John Hinton were on tour together.
You know who John Hinton is?
You remember John Hinton?
No.
From the show, he used to be on the show Living Single.
Living Single.
With the glasses, tall dude, bald head guy.
Yes. I don't know if he wore glasses.
No.
I don't know if he wore glasses, but John Hinton is tall. You've seen him before. He was on the
yeah.
He's been doing stand-up
forever.
Yeah. And he actually survived a really bad car accident years ago. Funny dude, but he couldn't do a date. And then Jamie Foxx's manager at the time hit me up. It was random because I hadn't even been doing comedy that long. And I had just met Jamie Foxx through a very good friend of mine, Yvette Wilson, rest in peace, who passed away. She was in the movie Fridays, the show Moesha, The Parkers. If you remember the movie Fridays, it's when Chris Tucker called her. You said she looked like Janet Jackson, not Freddie Jackson.
Yeah.
She was one of my first mentors who passed away from cancer years back. But she and Jamie Foxx were really close, so he used to be with her all the time. And then he saw me perform, and then I got the call from two different people at the same time for the same gig. And then I went and did the gig, and it went well. And they're like, "Hey, man, you can have the rest of the tour." So it was one of those life-changing moments. Now, I didn't really make a lot of money off of it, but the exposure that I got at the time was great.
But the difference too is when I mean I toured a couple of years with Louis Anderson, and but you know this is all pre-social media, dude. So you just did these gigs back then, and you just did the gigs. You know you might get some emails, but it's not what. Or when I did the Latin Kings tour with Paul Rodriguez, man, that was great, dude. We were doing nice numbers in the theaters. Again, that was pre-social media, so it was hard to develop. Nowadays, it's such a huge difference for comics to go on the road with other comedians that have a big following, because you can also you kill, people love you, and then they're gonna start going, hey, we want to follow this guy. We want to see where his career is going because he's on the trajectory. You know what I mean?
It's definitely much more of an opportunity through social media to grow your following, because a lot of times people, like yourself, if you do a great job, those 13,000 people are going to, some of those 13,000 people like, hey, who's that opener? Who opened up? A lot of times now, I'm pretty sure Gabe does this. They'll have your Twitter or your Instagram on the screen so people can see it real time on stage.
Yeah.
And you can build a nice following. Like Johnny said, back when we were opening up, people had no idea what your name was. It's just like, yo, who was that black guy that opened up for blah, blah, blah? You know what I mean? And it would take a lot of research for them to find you. So the advice that I got, which is hard to do sometimes, is whatever city that we would play, whatever theater or arena that we play in whatever city, contact the local comedy club, let them know that you're going to be performing at such and such theater, and try to get some work out of it and try to build a following that way. Because the club might give you an opportunity to work their club if they know you're playing in front of 12,000 people at the local arena. You know, so that's how we, you know, we try to do it back then.
Hey, man. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
No, it's stupid. Rob wanted me to tell. I'll do it another time, Rob. He wanted me to tell the story when Louis Anderson didn't want me on the tour anymore.
Oh, well, that is a great story because Alfred Robles is coming soon too. So tell him.
So there was this bit I used to do, and it was this one character, and the character basically the guy who had a lot of bad luck. He was based on an old roommate I used to have. Anyway, the guy, the tag was the guy going, "Damn, come on, man, damn!" every time something went wrong. So I remember we were at a casino somewhere in the South, and Louis at the time he liked to go down and gamble, and he said these two or three guys was like, "Hey, Louis," and Louis was like, "Hey," and then they're all, "Damn, man, come on, damn." They did my line, right? And then Louis goes, "Nah, that's the other guy, the opener." So then he walks off and he tells me, he's like, "I can't have that. I just can't." And that was it.
Wow.
That was the last time we worked together.
But you know what? I've always given Louis credit.
It makes sense, though.
Yeah, but I give Louis credit for this because he actually told you. You know,
yes.
Some people just stop working with you like they did with me without telling you anything. You know what I mean? Just one day you wake up and then you find out from behind the scenes from other people like, "Yo, dude,
somebody else is working with him."
Yeah, but somebody in the camp would come back and go, "Yo, man, you know, I wish you were still on tour, but this is why you're not on tour with us anymore."
Sure.
And you go, "Oh, wow." So at least Louis had enough consideration for you to tell you. There was only one person that told me. I'm trying to think who it was. They're like,
but you know what? He had been dropping hints before that.
Yeah,
like, "Hey, you're about ready." Because here was the thing, though, Alfred. The difference was with Louis, which was this was an amazing opportunity because I was the opener and the feature together. So I would open with 30 minutes. So, and I had to be squeaky clean. And that's the one thing I got from Louis, man. Louis is like, you know, no cussing, no crowd work. It's got to be clean, because his audience was older white people from the Midwest and the South, because that was when he was on Family Feud and all that. So, I mean, it was just like white hair, white people. I mean, it's just all the, 2,000, 2,500 seater theaters, casinos. So the great thing was I was doing 30 minutes up front. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I noticed towards the last tour, he was like, "Yeah, you're ready. I mean, you're already headlining. You're headlining." So, but that was the icing there where, somebody yelled out my bit to him. I get it. If I had an opener and that happened, I'd probably be like, "It's time to you gotta leave the nest,"
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make, Johnny, is, of course, he was dropping hints, but he actually told you. And I'm telling you, 90% of the time, when you get cut, they don't tell you anything because their ego won't allow them.
Right. Exactly. I mean, he's told when he said it to me that one day, I can't have people. He didn't say we're done. I did find out when about a month or two later when he was on tour again. So,
yeah. But when they tell you that, you're done.
Right, exactly. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm saying is a lot of times they don't even tell you that. You're just like, you hear something like, "Oh, they're about to go out on tour." Then you're kind of waiting for that phone call.
Yeah.
Then you see pictures from a date or you see things posted and be like, "Oh, I guess I'm not on tour anymore."
I think I know who you might be talking about too. Wait a minute. Somebody play lowrider.
It's been a couple, man, but
no, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
And let me so Alfred, has your mom come to see you perform live?
She's never seen me perform, bro.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
I've asked her a couple of times and she always said no. She feels like she doesn't get it, bro. She doesn't understand or anything like that. But she that's the reason she's giving me, bro. She hasn't seen me. I want to take her because she's getting older now. Yeah. I want to take her to a show. I invited her to go to the Staples Center. She didn't want to go.
How about this? Can you show her what, like a taping, a TV taping that you did?
I did, but she wasn't into it. She was like, "Oh, I don't understand it." I mean, I'm proud that you're there, but I don't get it.
Well,
I can relate to that a little bit because my parents were immigrants also. My dad didn't speak English very well. They passed away before I really started doing a lot of gigs, but I kind of wonder if my dad would have had the same type of, like, why am I going to go? Like, they didn't come to any of my football games. I was a decent athlete in high school, and my parents never came to one game because they just didn't understand it. I knew they loved me. I knew they supported me, but it just wasn't something that they understood, But as long as I was happy, they were happy. But they never came to a game, and people used to feel bad for me. And I'm like, well, they're from Haiti, man. There's no professional football in Haiti or high school football. So it just wasn't something that they'd be into. Or baseball, they never came to anything. So I get that. Hopefully one day your mom comes, man. I think it'd be great for her just to see you. Just
right.
For her
to experience it. Yeah.
See people, thousands of people enjoying her son.
Yeah.
Would be be dope, Would be dope.
Hopefully she changes her mind, dude. You know what I mean? And hopefully she changes her mind soon, because I don't want her to pass away or something and not like feeling bad for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, keep asking her, man. That's what you got to do. You got to just keep asking her, and you'll break her down, and she'll come. So, is it just you and your brother?
I have two older brothers, and just two older brothers and myself.
Oh, so you're the youngest?
I'm the youngest, bro.
That's
I'm the
pretty,
youngest.
that's pretty. There's a high percentage of comics that are the youngest.
Mm-hmm. All three of us. Johnny's the youngest. I'm the youngest. Yeah, man.
It's been a trait that's been around a long time, man. A lot of comics. It's not all of them, of course. You're gonna have some, but there's I can't remember the percentage, but it's pretty high, man. That's usually the youngest one because they entertain when they're kids. I don't know the connection, but
Wow. In your older brothers, do they support you? Do they come to your shows and everything?
My brother, my brother in the middle started doing comedy now too.
What?
Yeah, he's doing comedy as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What's his name?
Yeah. So he works. His name is Julio Robles.
Oh wow. Okay.
So he works at the Dodge. He's the manager at the Dodger store, and then he does stand up as well.
Wow. Did he tell you before you started? Did he call you like, "Hey, bro, I want to do stand up too"?
Yeah, he took the Rudy Moreno class, bro.
So what did you tell him? What did you tell him? What was your advice to your own brother? Were you supportive? Are you like, why do you want to do this?
I wasn't supportive in the beginning, and the reason why I wasn't supportive in the beginning, because I remember he used to talk shit to me because I was a stand-up comic and I was getting paid. Like, all right. And he'll be like, get a real job type of thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So he's been doing it only a few years, right? Because Rudy just started the classes like a couple years ago. 3 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. He might hit you up early for some like tour dates and stuff. So are you going to give him the old, you got to pay your dues a little more? Or are you going to be like, he's my brother, I'm going to go ahead and let him go on the road with me?
I gave them a couple of spots, but I don't give them spots all the time. I told them, hey, bro, I'll give you spots when I can. Okay. But I want to see that you're out there as well.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I gave them a spot, bro, I kind of like got on his ass because he did 5 minutes and he had like fucking 5 anal jokes. He said fuck like 20 times. Like, what the fuck, bro? You go first. You know what I mean?
Hey, but you started that way.
Not as bad.
Okay.
Isn't it funny, Alfred, that he's older than you, but in comedy, you're the older brother?
That's funny, but yeah, it's true, dog.
You know what I mean? True. Jerry Seinfeld told a friend of mine a long time ago, he goes, how long you been doing stand-up? And he was like 15 years. And he goes, so you're 15 years old.
So you're 15, yeah.
And at first he took it as an insult. Then he really thought about it. And when you do comedy longer and longer and longer as the years mount up, it does really equate, man, because somebody who's been doing comedy for 20, 25 years, 30 years, if they've really been doing it, they're serious, they have skill sets and things that they can do that you just don't have in your arsenal.
Even at 15.
Years. Yeah, at 15, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
That's dope. Now, you brought up the Dodgers. Anybody who knows me knows what a big Dodger fan that I am. And Alfred Robles is, if not bigger Dodger fan than mine, we're about equal, man. How are you feeling about no baseball right now, Alfred?
Man, it's horrible, dog. I look good. I look to these fucking dates, bro. Fucking April and March. I look forward to these days, bro, because of spring training. Now I don't have anything, dog. I'm a baseball fan before any other sport. So I love the Dodgers, bro.
Me and Alfred.
I was gonna show you something.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna show you something, bro.
And while you're getting that, oh, go ahead. Never mind.
What is that's a cookie? Isn't that a cookie? Is that a cookie from when we went to that after party?
I stole them, bro. And I have them in the fridge since then.
So here's the backstory. That was you got those from the after party, right, Alfred? When we all went to the after party. So
I put them in my pocket, dude.
So me and Alfred were blessed enough to go. We've been to playoff games together, World Series games together, and a friend of mine, she hooked us up for the after party, the Dodgers after party, and they had it. They put it like Johnny. They built like a outdoor party in the parking lot.
Okay.
For players and friends and family and people in the organization, and you walk in. There's a band playing. There's food stations everywhere, dessert stations, and we're like, whoa, this is cool, man. And Alfred stole some cookies. Well, you weren't stealing them. I mean, they were free. You just still have them, which is dope.
I've had them in my fridge since 2017, dog.
Wow.
Dude, man, I'm bummed because, I mean, I just hope baseball comes back because I think this could be our year, man. We got Mookie now, and I don't want to let the Astros off the hook for cheating. I
know, right?
It's almost like the quarantine virus is taking them.
It saved them. Saved them.
It saved them. Not the quarantine virus. The COVID-19 virus is taking them off the hook. So Alfred, we won't hold you, man. We appreciate you being on the show. Before we let you go, you told us about bombing at the what? Mexicali,
Casa Latina.
Casa Latina. What has been your worst show or worst set that you could remember?
I did I'll say it, dude. I did a show for the Mongols, bro, the motorcycle gang.
Yeah.
And they gave me and Rodrigo fucking $200 each. And back then, bro, $200 was a lot to us, bro. How can we say no? They wanted us to do 10 minutes. And what they did is all the cholos were dancing, and then they turned the music off, and then they said, now we have comedy. Here for you guys is Alfred Robles. So I went up, bro. They were fucking, hey, sing us a song. Hey, dance for us. And fuck, bro. It was the worst, dog. It was the worst. And I was all like, dude, these fuckers are gangsters. I'm going to have to, they already paid us. I'm going to have to do the time. So I went for fucking 10 minutes bombing. Hey, what's up, guys? And we already know your name. Like, yeah, I didn't even know what to say.
But a motorcycle gang? I would, man. Well, shit, wow. I've done comedy shows for gangsters too, man. So I that's intimidating. And the thing that makes that story probably even funnier to me and Johnny is it was only 10 minutes.
Hey, man, what people don't understand when you have an audience like that, or you're in a situation, a hostile situation, or people who hate you, you're bombing. You cram 20 minutes of material in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
because you're trying to get you just no rest. You can't rest. You can't give them the opportunity to throw another line at you, but they do it anyway. So yeah.
So Alfred, now that we're all in this together as far as dealing with this quarantine, what are your thoughts and feelings about performing online, doing stand-up like in this type of format? Some comedians are doing it, some comedians are for it, some comedians are against it, especially as time goes on. I don't know if you've already done stand-up in this type of format already, But do you see yourself doing stand-up online? Is that something you'd participate in?
I did the Zoom, and I see a lot of people doing it, like just to say like the Laugh Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's harder like that because you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard. And with Zoom, I did it, and it was 100 people on the Zoom, and you could hear them laughing. So for me, it felt a little bit better, you know. And then your timing wasn't like you're on stage, but it kind of felt like you were performing for at a club.
How many people did you say were in the Zoom?
100 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and they had their mics on.
Yeah.
It was a comedian named Carmen Morales. She's the one that set it up. And she told everybody, keep your mics on. So they had their mics on. And you could hear them clapping. You could hear them laughing. So it felt good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and I'll do that again.
Let me ask you this. Were you sitting down like this or were you standing?
No, I was sitting up. Watch, I'll tell you exactly what I did, bro. Hold on.
Okay. Curious.
Listening, Alfred just got up and he's gonna set it up and show us how he performed his Zoom set for 100 people.
So there was two comics went up before me. They had a mic. They had an actual mic, and one of them was standing. The other one wasn't standing. And I went and I grabbed this, bro. And I was sitting down and I was telling my jokes like that.
You grabbed it
in the middle of my. Yeah, and I told them, I go, hey, you know what, guys, this is a fucking remote control, and then I could hear them laughing. I'm like, all right, that was good. So I needed to hold something, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't. So I said I'm gonna grab a remote, and I grabbed my remote control, and then I showed it to them, and they died, bro.
And you know what? You were actually doing it remotely.
There he is.
Yeah, what? That's right,
man. I have a feeling that those Zoom style shows are going to be a regular thing for a while. Even when we had Rodney Perry as a guest here last week, he was doing a Zoom type show for $1,000. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he was going to do a corporate gig, dude. He was going to do a corporate event.
And I know Gilbert Escobar, I heard, is doing shows like that also that pay.
Yeah, but the Gilbert one is you can't hear the laughs, bro, and I think that's a little bit harder. Oh, Gilbert's doing it on Facebook.
Did you do the Gilbert one, or you just watched it?
No, I watched it. I think that's going to be a little bit harder. You know what I mean? For comics, is harder because we want that reaction.
I think.
You know what I mean?
I'm not sure with this program that we're using how many people we can get in, but I think if you can do something like this on Facebook Live, like maybe, you know, if we can get like 15, 20 people in here, this is something that we could actually do on Facebook Live, and people could chime in and laugh. We could be able to hear them and do it that way. That's something that could possibly work. Did we lose the audio on Alfred?
We lost the audio.
Alfred.
Oh, we lost the audio.
Well,
we lost you on audio.
Well, maybe that's a sign to end. But hey, Alfred, we for some reason we lost. Let me see. Alfred, hit your button again. We lost Alfred. We can see him, but we can't hear him. Alfred, dude, love you, bro. Appreciate you being on the show, man. Continued success, man. Stay busy. We might be putting together some type of online stand-up show. I'd love you to be a part of it. And stay safe, bro. Love to your mom. And hopefully this ends soon and she could come out and see you perform and see all the love that you get from the audiences, man. When I've come to see you perform, I think it'd be great for her to experience that, man. So thank you for doing the show.
Thanks for doing it, man.
We appreciate you, man. And Johnny.
And also, I think I already had this idea. And that the fact that he has that shirt is I'm not kidding. He needs to be. I got a show idea called Gardeners of the Galaxy.
Idiot.
Yeah, man.
Well, Alfred, tell all your friends, tell all your family. They can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. They can watch it on YouTube, and it'll also be on the Facebook page if you want to share podcast on your Facebook page. So
Come say hi real quick.
I appreciate you. And ladies
B
and
wants to
gentlemen,
say goodbye. B wants to say bye.
and Johnny's daughter B wants to say bye. Where's B? Come on, B.
Stand up. There she is.
Hey B, did you enjoy the show?
Well, she had her headphones on most of the time because of the language between the two of you. Okay.
Like you don't use that type of language.
I didn't even do it when she had headphones on. I didn't even do it.
Well, good.
All right.
Thanks for being a responsible parent.
Say bye, B. Say bye to everybody.
Bye, B. Hey, everybody.
We'll do an interview with you maybe next week, okay? B?
Yeah, we do.
You want to do a little interview? Just a little bit.
We do need to get B. We
Just a
do
little
need to
bit.
get B on the show.
All right.
All right, guys. That's the best of everything with Ruben Paul and Johnny Sanchez. Thank you guys for listening. Tell a friend, share it, and we will see you next week. We thank you.
Yeah, next week. Okay. Later.
Ruby Mother and Tuesdays.
This show is all about diversity and bringing everyone together. You never know who you're going to see at Ruby Tuesdays.